For most of the dinosaur era, fast, vicious, deadly, flesh-eating predators were no larger than tigers. Then came a fiendish new strategy for survival. Dinosaurs began to grow, some as big as a building. Huge, monstrous, and overpowering, they would become known as the Great Carnosaurs. The Badlands of Alberta, Canada are thousands of square miles of nothing but scrub, brush, and sand. Yet this place is a gold mine for paleontologists. The landscape is riddled with fossils, including those of the most terrible land animals that ever lived. Here, more than 500 dinosaur skeletons have been discovered. 75 million years ago, this was a coastal plain close to the sea and lush with plant life. For most of the dinosaur era, which began 245 million years ago, predators remained no larger than today's land animals. The forces that would eventually drive evolution had yet to emerge. The continents were knitted together into a single landmass called Pangaea. The climate was warm and dry. Dinosaurs roamed freely. Then, 200 million years ago, Pangaea broke apart. Isolating dinosaur populations and creating a revolution in their development. Some plant-eating dinosaurs grew enormous. To survive, the dinosaurs that preyed on them had to grow too. As much as 30 times larger. And they perfected their arsenal of weapons. These were the Carnosaurs, a general name given to large meat-eating dinosaurs. At least 15 feet long, they walked upright on two legs, had large heads, dagger-like teeth, and very short arms. These are the killer dinosaurs every child loves and the mainstay of old science fiction movies. Their modern reconstructions draw thousands to theme parks. Their bodies as big as buildings. Their steps made the earth tremble as they chased their prey and tore it apart with their powerful jaws. Some of the first examples of Carnosaurs were found in Alberta's Badlands. Embedded in stone, dead for at least 75 million years. Albertosaurus is a member of the most highly evolved, the most fearsome, and deadly Carnosaur family of them all, the Tyrannosaurs. Its killer cousin is perhaps the best-known dinosaur of them all, Tyrannosaurus rex. Here in Dinosaur Provincial Park, Phil Curry and his team from Canada's Royal Tyrrell Museum have just uncovered the remains of a killer.
This quarry was only opened 3 days ago, but enough has been exposed already that we can identify what kind of dinosaur it is. If we look at this rib, for example, we can see the head. In front of the rib are a number of very slender bones, which are called gastralia. And gastralia are special bones that cover the belly region of tyrannosaur dinosaurs. And from the size of these gastralia and the shape, we can tell that this is a tyrannosaurid. This is a vertebra from the trunk region, and just being uncovered right now are a series of vertebrae from the neck. And again, these confirm that this is a tyrannosaurid. We think at this point in time that this is probably a half-grown Albertosaurus.
Curry and his team are covering Albertosaurus with a plaster cast so it can be transported safely back to the lab for examination. Like all Carnosaurs, Albertosaurus used its massive head as a weapon. Its jaw was longer and its teeth bigger than earlier predatory dinosaurs. This extra equipment would have made the skull heavy, but nature is ingenious. The skull acquired holes and its bones were hollow, but critical stress points within the skull were heavily reinforced. Albertosaurus was the size of a small bus and weighed 2.5 tons. It had a thin build with a pointed snout and a severe overbite. Paleontologists used to think Carnosaurs were slow, lumbering creatures, just overgrown alligators and crocodiles. Some suggest they were even too big to hunt and depended instead on scavenging. But Curry believes that based on the footprints of smaller predatory dinosaurs with similar leg structures, Carnosaurs were in fact swift and agile.
For example, an ornithomimid, one of the fastest dinosaurs known, when it was walking, would take fairly short steps. But as it moved faster, those steps would increase greatly. And by measuring the distance between two left footprints or two right footprints and the length of the foot itself, we can calculate how fast those animals were moving.
From his studies of ancient footprints left in mud, Curry estimated the 6-foot-tall